Most people spend their entire lives in a mental box. This is true in modern times when you hear people tell you to try and think outside the box, and was true thousands of years ago when it was referenced by Plato in his famous work Republic. Except Plato's box wasn't a box at all. He called it a cave. Plato's allegory of the cave tells the story of people who are chained up in a cave from birth. In the cave there was a fire. The shadows of freed people wandering the cave were cast upon the walls for the chained people to watch, hearing the echoes of conversations and creatures in the cave. For them, this cave and these sensory experiences were all there was to life. This cave was the entirety of their universe. People are often born into the lives they lead. These include societal categories that rarely change. Other times, people create the life that they desire and never look back. Regardless, we tend to surround ourselves with like-minded people and refrain from interacting outside of our social bubbles. People are often raised with a similar lifestyle and set of principles as their parents, and are often shielded from ways of life other than their own. These are our caves. In Plato's cave, the lack of exposure to the outside world created an understandable yet astounding ignorance of anything most people would consider normal. In our terms, this represents closed-mindedness. Eventually, one of the prisoners is freed and exposed to the outside world for the first time. There are obviously tons of reactions and adjustments that must be made, but eventually this person begins to realize all of the things that they had been missing in the cave. They are beginning to understand what was real. When they finally learn this new perspective, their old one seemed silly and closed-minded. The newly educated person returned to the cave and talked with the others about their newfound perspective and knowledge, but they were ridiculed and attacked because of the absurdity of their ideas. Although it can be interpreted in many ways, I personally understand it as an exploration of ignorance in education. When I first read it, I understood the baseline hidden meaning, but it took even longer for me to really understand the application this has on my life. What if everyone lives in their own cave? Growing up in upper-middle-class suburbia, I go to school and work every day alongside mere clones of myself. This is true for most people I know. We see little social variation, and can often even forget that it exists. The shadows that we watch on our cave walls are twisted representations of real life, catered to us through our homogeneous surroundings, news, and social media. I came about this realization when I began working with a local area homeless organization called Artists Helping the Homeless. In my English class, I did a project that exposed me to the social variation that I was lacking. Interacting with homeless people personally for the first time helped me realize the humanity within these people that were so often ignored. It broke the stigma that I had carried all of my life regarding privilege and class and helped me to finally understand the box that I was in. My project received recognition from the mayor of Overland Park, which I was very proud of, but I decided that I wasn't done yet. The work that I had done with Artists Helping the Homeless was very personally influential, and I wanted to keep doing it. I kept showing up each week to hand out dinners in a park to homeless people that needed them most. I began to build personal relationships with the people I was working with and started to understand the situations they had come from. Many of these people suffered from substance abuse, domestic violence, and disabilities that caused their homelessness in the first place. The only difference between them and myself was that I was fortunate enough to have the resources to deal with my issues. In a way, the people I was helping were born into their own box or cave, with no expectation for education or success. I still volunteer with Artists Helping the Homeless, although it has been crucially adapted to work with COVID-19 safety guidelines. The meals we give out are boxed rather than buffet style, and PPE are required at all times. What's more impressive, though, is Artists Helping the Homeless has added an entirely new support program specifically for COVID-19. It allows COVID-negative homeless people to be cleared from hospital beds and provides hotel accommodations. The program helps to flatten the strain on the medical system while also rehabilitating homeless people. An important aspect of my continued work with Artists Helping the Homeless is awareness. The organization has had such a profound impact on me that I try to expose and share my experiences with as many people as possible. I have invited friends and family to come volunteer with me, and even hosted cooperative youth group programs with the charity to expose people to some of the same revelations I have had. I have even been asked by the charity's founder, Kar Wu, to make some more videos regarding the program's success to help with publicity and awareness. I don't just want to show people how to get out of their box, I want to destroy these boxes entirely. Another important aspect of the growth that I have experienced is that I am not a finished product. It is important to avoid having a sense of moral superiority because this will only cause people to shrink further into their box in way of thinking. Rather than acting superior, demonstrating care, modesty, and open-mindedness will be a better catalyst for growth and change in the long run. This is one of my goals for going to college, to continue upon the personal growth that I have already started experiencing and become a more well-rounded individual.